Super Mario Bros. Is one of the most iconic speedrunning games of all time. Legendary competitors like AndrewG, Darbian, and Kosmic have entertained and delighted legions of sporting fans for years. The most popular categories are Any percent, where Niftski recently set the first ever 454 world record, and Warpless, where GTA 99 recently broke the 1857 barrier. Over 1,500 runners have combined to submit times for these two Super Mario Bros. Categories alone. But as exciting as Any percent and Warpless are, they're not the only categories that have attracted speedrunners. In fact, there's an entire family of Mario Bros. Runs that impose unusual restrictions or fun requirements which challenge the interested competitor. For instance, there's the 11 times warpless category, which requires speedrunners to beat the game without warps 11 times in a row. There's categories which use Game Genie codes, such as ASON, which allows Mario to walk through solid walls. There's even a category where you have to finish the first level of the game as Fire Mario. Over 400 people have attempted the 1-1 as Fire Mario category, making this one of the most popular Super Mario Bros. Runs. And yet, chances are you've never heard of it, or many of the other categories for SMB, unless you're a dedicated member of the SMB speedrunning community. I think it's time to change that. So come with me. Let's explore the wider world of Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning. The history of Super Mario Bros. Category extension speedrunning really begins on December 11th, 2011, when the legendary SMB speedrunner AndrewG performed the first recorded glitchless speedrun of the game. Now before I go any further, I want to define SMB category extension speedrunning, which will be the focus of this video. A category extension is any type of speedrun which is listed under the category extension section of the SMBspeedrun.com page. There are only 5 categories excluded by this definition: Any percent, Warpless, Minus World Ending, Any percent All-Stars, and Warpless All-Stars, none of which will be discussed in this video. Anyway, glitchless may not seem like a very special category to you. After all, playing without glitches is just how most people enjoy Super Mario Bros. However, most people can't beat the game in just over 5 minutes, which is exactly what AndrewG did with his 5:04.382 time. It was a great accomplishment, but it wasn't widely known until Saradoc posted Andrew's run on Speedrun.com in late 2016 and officially created the category. Once this happened, several runners tried for the record, including Barn Owl, Death Taxes N64, and Solo Q. Solo Q's PB was a 5:06, not too far away from the top time, but they said after the run that AndrewG's current time is pretty much unbeatable. And, for over a year, it was, until Kosmic beat AndrewG's record with a 5:04.099 on December 4th, 2017. This is a beautiful run. Kosmic's movement is both speedy and graceful, and he avoids enemies almost carelessly. The only real slowdowns were a collision with a Hammer Bro in World 8-3 that he somehow walked away from without dying, and some bad RNG in World 8-4. Other than that, it was clean. Kosmic returned to the category almost a year later to lower his record by about a half second. But this was just a prelude to the madness that was about to ensue, because 2 of the greatest speedrunners in Mario Bros. History were about to challenge him for the record. Meet Sumwes and GTA 99. These 2 are some of the kings of SMB speedrunning. Both are legends who have held the SMB Any percent record in the past. At this point in their careers, Sumwes had just gotten the Any percent world record, while GTA was an up-and-coming runner who had a 457 PB in Any percent, and was working on the Warpless and Minus World Ending categories as well. But now, in December 2018, they were focused on getting the glitchless world record from Kosmic. GTA struck first on December 12th with a 5:03.983, lowering his time 10 days later to 5:03.833, just a tenth of a second behind Kosmic. Then, on December 23rd, Sumwes finished a brilliant run of 5:03.683, enough to beat Kosmic and get the glitchless world record. Sumwes, being a seasoned competitor, didn't show very much emotion at the end. A mere 3 days after Sumwes' sterling run, GTA beat it with a 5:03.650. He showed even less emotion, mainly because he was running offline and didn't have his camera switched on. And then, just a day after GT Ace's run, Kosmic returned with vengeance in his heart and fire in his eyes, eager to reclaim his world record.
Nice. I think I did.
Well, I guess some people show fire in their eyes a little bit differently. I'm not sure what it is about this category that makes runners so chill, but it makes me wonder if the secret to world peace is doing glitchless runs of Super Mario Bros. Anyway, Kosmic got his record back with a 5:03.617, and that mark stood until early 2019. But after that, it was all GT Ace. Outside of an 8-day stretch in early 2021, he's held the glitchless world record continuously for almost 3 years. It is a very impressive stretch of dominance. It doesn't get much attention, but there actually is a co-op speedrunning scene for SMB. It only averages about 3 to 4 runs per year, but what it lacks in quantity, it more than makes up for in quality, because many of the top runners in other categories of SMB speedrunning have teamed up to submit some memorable times. There are 2 co-op categories on the speedrun.com leaderboards. One simply entitled Co-op, which is any percent with 2 players, and Co-op Warpless, which is the Warpless category with a second player added. The runners Rupert83 and Barn Owl had the honor of posting the first time in both categories, and they were absolutely thrilled about it.
11:07 is good, we'll keep that.
Now, one of the really keen things about this run is that it sees 2 very accomplished competitors at the beginning of their careers. Rupert has become a speedrunning pioneer of sorts, participating in several lesser-known speedruns, such as the Mario Pentathlon, which requires a runner to beat all 5 classic 2D Mario games, and the Mario Decathlon, which adds the 2 Game Boy Marios, versus Super Mario Bros., and several categories of Super Mario World 2. Barn Owl has simply become one of the most prolific speedrunners in history, as he's submitted times for over 40 games. And as far as SMB category extensions go, he's competed in 27 of them. There are only 41 categories. You do the math, this guy loves Super Mario Bros. So you can see why Rupert and Barn Owl's 11:07 isn't just interesting. It's a historic moment in a pair of historic speedrunning careers. But soon enough, a new pair came to knock 10 seconds off the co-op world record, and it was 2 of the most illustrious speedrunners ever, Darbian and Lack Attack. Now, for those of you who follow SMB speedrunning, you know that Darbian is part of the inner circle of Hall of Fame speedrunners. What else can you say about a man who held the SMB Any Percent and Warpless records at the same time for months? And Lack Attack, while primarily known as one of the greatest Legend of Zelda speedrunners of all time, has also been a pretty consistent, if not dominant, Mario speedrunner. His best showing has come in the Game Boy Color version of SMB, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, where he currently holds 2nd place in both the Warpless and Any Percent categories. And of course, we can't forget to mention that he currently holds the world record in the prestigious Lose a Game category for Bases Loaded 2, 2nd season.
World record.
So putting these legends together was the most ambitious crossover in the history of speedrunning. Co-op, however, is a challenging category because you can't just reset because of bad luck if you're player 1. Your counterpart might have a great second half of the run. This adds more time to each co-op run than you might expect, and it's why Darbian and Lack Attack actually didn't have individually great runs during their co-op world record attempts. Lack Attack started the run first and got a 5:25 for his segment because of some glaring errors such as the important pipe jumps in 4-2 and 8-4 being missed. In fact, Darbian missed the 4-2 pipe jump as well, which shows how difficult these tricks are for even the most experienced players. However, he did hit the extremely precise flagpole bounce in 8-2 to keep the run on track. And then in 8-4, Darbian somehow managed to wall jump out of a lava pit to avoid death. This 1 in a million luck was the factor that ultimately made this run the new world record with the 10:57. It wasn't the best individual showing from either Darbian or Lack Attack, but their efforts led them to get the world record. After this, there were a couple attempts at the best time by different people, but none were successful, and the record stood for over a year. It was going to take 2 extremely skilled runners to beat this time. And in January 2018, those runners arrived in the form of Somewes and Kosmic. We've already talked about Somewes, and I briefly touched on Kosmic's contribution to the glitchless category, but you need to understand how legendary it is to have the two of them doing a co-op run together. At the time of this run, Somewes and Kosmic were about to start dueling each other for the SMB Any% record. Kosmic would ultimately win this battle by scoring both the first 455 in Any% history and a faster time than Somewes' world record at the beginning of 2020. But their Any% battle hadn't started yet, and they were just competitors trying to beat the co-op world record time. And they didn't just beat it, they shattered it by 43 seconds. I'm not going to show you much footage from this run because it took place at a marathon and is pretty low quality, but I want you to look at this last part so you can see how seriously Kosmic was taking this. He gets the difficult 8-4 pipe jump to save a mere 1 second on his time, then flawlessly navigates the last part of the stage to beat Bowser and smash the old co-op record. Somewes and Kosmic's final time? A blistering 10:14. One more piece of trivia for co-op. Somewes has accomplished the rare feat of placing first and second in this category. In September 2021, he and GTA's former glitchless rivals teamed up to achieve a 10:18, which was good for second place. Somewes also has placed third in the walkathon category, and beware, we are about to get into the weirder side of Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning. Walkathon prohibits speedrunners from using the B button to run, meaning that Mario moves at a glacial pace compared to what most players of the game are used to. It is deeply unsettling to see speedrunners forced into such unnatural movement, and Somewes seems quite distressed in this run, but he ultimately beat his PB by nearly 12 seconds to achieve a 7:01.988. Somehow his run was only about 2 minutes slower than the fastest Any% PBs. So you think that's weird? Try the OneHand category, where competitors have to play the game using only one hand. Or what about the pacifist category, where you can't defeat any enemies whatsoever? For some reason, the rules on speedrun.com for this category make no sense. And I quote, "Or stepped on an enemy character, or baked, shall not be, or push up from the bottom, the other is the same as Mario TA, there is the usual word flop." Oh, and it gets worse. There's anti-pacifist, where you have to kill every enemy in the game. There's over the flagpole, where you have to do a complicated series of inputs to get a Koopa in the ground, so you can literally use it to jump over the flagpole and run endlessly into an infinite void. How about a category where you have to softlock the game as fast as possible? Or how about a category where you have to pipe jump 10 times? I promise you'll never be as excited about anything as Niftski is about jumping on a pipe.
8, 9. Yes! Oh my god! Holy cow! Holy cow! Oh my god! What? Yo!
Okay. The last category I'm going to show you is actually really impressive. It's the Blindfolded category, and it's only ever been run by 5 people. The world record is currently held by Crescendo with the 759. There is, of course, little possibility of doing the Any% strats that push runs below the 5-minute mark, but it is still absolutely nail-biting to watch him carefully make his way through levels that are difficult for most people, even with their eyes open. The tensest part of the run happens at the end of 8-4, when Crescendo has to manage swimming through both Potaboos and Bloopers, then jump over lava pits and fist fight with Bowser in order to finish the run, and the first ever sub-8 in the Blindfolded category.
Man, is it sub-8 or not? No. Whoa. I thought I died. I thought that I went too far.
Now there's been some pretty impressive runs in Super Mario Bros. History. Men like AndrewG, Darbian, Somewes, Kosmic, and Niftski have held the Any% and Warpless world records, breaking barrier after barrier through their skillful play. But I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like what Crescendo did in November 2021. On the basis of this run alone, he should be considered one of the Mario speedrunning greats. Why should anybody care about Super Mario Bros. Category extensions? Why pay attention to speedruns that are often far outside the mainstream? A lot of these categories are goofy, weird, or in the case of 10 wall jumps, maybe not worth all the excitement. I suppose this begs a further question: why compete at all? Why do ski jumpers strap wooden slats to their feet and fling themselves through the air? Why do skeleton racers hurtle at dangerous speeds down icy tracks? Why do track and field athletes seek to run faster than anybody in the history of the world? I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers to this bundle of questions, but I think that humans have an innate desire to compete, to push themselves, and to pioneer and do things that have never been done before. In speedrunning, we see it in people like Darbian when he got the first 456 in SMB Any % history, Nick and GZ as they battled back and forth for the top time in Animal Crossing New Leaf, or Indy Kenobi as he pioneered new speedruns for games like Knights of the Old Republic and Phoenix Wright. Which brings us back to SMB category extensions. I think these categories, esoteric and strange as some of them are, can be seen as part of that creative spirit that leads people to do great things. Whatever you think of people who use Game Genie codes to clip through walls, they're pushing the boundaries of what it means to speedrun Super Mario Bros. And introducing us to a wider world of speedrunning possibility. So the next time you see somebody playing Mario with OneHand or Blindfolded, stop for a moment and watch. You might start thinking about how you can push over the horizons of your own life, and I can't think of anything more worthwhile than that.